You have a letter in your hands from the director of the FBI in the wake of this reopening of this review of the emails regarding Hillary Clinton. Read the letter.
It's shocking news. It's from the director of the FBI to all the same Republican chairmen of the committees on the House and the Senate about the information that they've been looking at in Anthony Weiner's computer.
Right.
Okay, the headline is, we're sticking with our original assessment from July, the FBI director says.
Not criminal.
Which is that no criminal acts took place, although obviously he also said the way that Hillary Clinton and her staff handled the information was extremely careless. But the headline is, nothing new here has changed our conclusion. And I'll just read the letter.
Yeah, please do.
Dear Mr. Chairman, I write to supplement my October 28th, 2016 letter that notified you the FBI would be taking additional investigative steps with respect to former Secretary of State Clinton's use of a personal email server. Since my letter, the FBI investigative team has been working around the clock to process and review a large volume of emails from a device obtained in connection with an unrelated criminal investigation. We know that to be the investigation into Anthony Weiner. During that process, we reviewed all of the communication that were to or from Hillary Clinton while she was Secretary of State. Based on our review, we have not changed our conclusions that we expressed in July with respect to Secretary Clinton, that none of the acts were criminal. I am very grateful to the professionals at the FBI for doing an extraordinary amount of high-quality work in a short period of time. Sincerely yours, James.
But one more thing he wouldn't do, he wouldn't take gazillions of dollars in speaking fees from big banks and then pretend that somehow he's going to regulate them or somehow he's going to be for the people. I mean, if Hillary Clinton were a legitimately
we have no idea what he's taken in
voice
speaking
against
fees.
Wall Street.
Donald Trump has given speeches for money. He has given speeches for money, but we have no idea how much money because he refuses to release his tax returns.
Well, Hillary Clinton,
an
as CNN has reported, Hillary Clinton has made tens of millions of dollars on speeches, and she gives them for free now, and nobody seems to want to show up and listen to them. So, I mean, her crowds look like
we know that she's made that money
because
she's released her tax returns. We know that she's made that money because she's released her tax returns.
No, we know she's made that money because the Clintons are all about money, and we just got confirmation that $1 million gift from Qatar for Bill Clinton's birthday. Look, Americans look at that and they say, last time I celebrated my husband's birthday, no foreign government gave us $1 million. Nobody said in emails, we want to make sure that Bill Clinton, Inc. makes about $66 million. That's a lot of money, $28 million from Morocco. I mean, this is just not normal. And by the way, Americans, it's not necessary. You don't have to start the next 4 years under a cloud of corruption and unanswered questions by grifting and gifting among people who always put themselves first. I mean, if that weren't true,
there's
Jake,
a lot of unanswered questions
about.
There's a lot of unanswered questions about Donald Trump because he doesn't release his tax returns. He has given speeches for money. We're told that we have no idea what they are because he won't be transparent with the American people about where his money is or where he's taking money from.
He's very transparent. Here's what Americans should look at when they see. Here's what they should see when they look at Donald Trump: 104-page financial disclosure form. Everybody can pull it up right now.
The first major party candidate to not release tax returns since 1976.
Well, he's the first major party candidate to truly be outside of politics, and that's what people see. He's built a movement. Everywhere he shows, he's like 5 stops yesterday. Everywhere he shows, there's just thousands and thousands of people there in these so-called blue states. But we're supposed, and then the media ask, but will they vote? No, they just stood in line for 5 hours to go to a rally 15,000 strong, but they're not going to show up on Tuesday. We know momentum and enthusiasm matter, and we know when people see Donald Trump, they see somebody who's a job creator, a builder, a problem solver, a fixer, somebody who's got vision, and goes to Washington, Jake, owing nobody anything, and certainly hasn't. I can guarantee you his tax returns don't show millions of dollars from foreign governments giving to his family's foundation.
We have no idea what they show because he won't release them.
Well,
you can't guarantee that because you have no idea what they show because he won't release his tax returns. He won't release his tax returns, so you can't guarantee anything.
Is he under FBI investigation? Did he ask his housekeeper to print out national security classified emails? I mean, this woman has no respect for the law.
I know that there are investigations by the New York Attorney General into Trump University. I know that there's a court case involving Trump University. I know there's plenty of things that Mr. Trump has not answered questions.
It was only a few weeks ago when Paul Ryan privately said he would not campaign with Donald Trump. But on Saturday, the House Speaker sharing the stage with Trump's running mate, Mike Pence.
If I'm the heart, He's the mind. Paul Ryan is one of the great conservative leaders in the United States of America, and Wisconsin should be proud.
Trump supporters in the Wisconsin crowd were restless.
Facing this country. I'm getting there. Just wait. I'm getting there. Let me talk to you about the issues.
And Ryan made clear he was supporting the Republican nominee when he cast his ballot.
I walked in to the City Hall in Janesville, Wisconsin about 2 weeks ago, and I cast my ballot. I voted for Donald Trump and Mike Pence. I voted for Ron Johnson. I voted for every Republican I saw on the ballots. Do you know why I did that? Because Republicans, it is time to come home and go out and vote.
Ryan has struggled to come to terms with Trump's controversial candidacy, initially refusing to back him. Ryan later endorsed Trump, even as he sharply criticized him.
Claiming a person can't do their job because of their race is sort of like the textbook definition of a racist comment.
And in the aftermath of last month's leak of a video where Trump talks crudely about groping women, Ryan informed House Republicans on a conference call he could not defend Trump anymore and would instead focus on saving GOP majorities in Congress. Trump letting loose on Twitter, calling Ryan weak and ineffective, and in public, the GOP nominee repeatedly bashing the Republican speaker.
Maybe he wants to run in 4 years, or maybe he doesn't know how to win. Maybe he just doesn't know how to win.
Ryan's position frustrating Trump supporters within his House Republican conference. Congressman Kevin Cramer of North Dakota telling CNN, "I thought it was an error on Paul's part." Some, like Oklahoma Congressman Jim Bridenstine, going further, threatening to vote against Ryan's bid to win re-election as Speaker, and other House conservatives using their votes as leverage over the Speaker.
Will you back Paul Ryan in his bid to continue serving as Speaker of the House?
Well, I don't know the answer to that yet.
But Ryan has deep support, bolstered by his relentless fundraising to keep the House in Republican hands. Now saying he wants total GOP control in Washington, including the White House.
I want us to win. We are offering what a unified Republican government can achieve.
And Aaron, the reason why Pence and Ryan were campaigning together was to help Republican Senator Ron Johnson win in his increasingly tight Senate race in Wisconsin. But on the House side, officials in both parties believe Republicans will lose seats on Tuesday, but probably keep their majority. And that could be a challenge for Ryan in the new Congress because there will be fewer moderates and a more emboldened conservative wing. And with the narrow majority, Ryan cannot afford many defections from conservatives, Aaron, if he wants to win the 218 votes he needs to be reelected Speaker in January.
I want to ask you, Mr. Trump is asking the American people to make him Commander-in-Chief on Tuesday, just 48 hours from now. I want to show you what Mr. Trump said on Saturday about U.S. military commanders participating in the Iraqi effort to recapture Mosul from ISIS. Take a listen.
Whatever happened to the element of surprise? Right, the element of surprise. What a group of losers we have.
How is Mr. Trump going to be able to work with the members of Central Command and U.S. military leaders if he's been calling them a group of losers?
No, he's basically referring to the current commander-in-chief and his former Secretary of State when he says that. He made that very clear in the debates as well. His problem is that you've got a commander-in-chief and you've got his former Secretary of State, who just happens to want to be the next commander-in-chief, having an awful record, according to Mosul, an awful record on the Syrian fake red lines, the Russian reset, the Middle East, Northern Africa several years ago with what was supposed to be a great Arab Spring. They own all these hot spots around the globe, and people ought to know that. They ought to see not what people say, but what they've done. And in the case of Hillary Clinton and her former boss, Barack Obama, that has not gone well, Jake. I don't think anybody can dispute that. If people thought their foreign policy and national security records were so great, she would be running away with this. She would say, look, I've been there. I was in the room. I made these tough decisions. I was Secretary of State. Therefore, I'm ready to be Commander-in-Chief. Why is she tied among why is he winning among veteran households, military households so handily? He's beating her by double digits because people don't trust her to be Commander-in-Chief. They think she's disqualified herself. She's unfit because she runs around with confidential information on some pervert server, having her maid printed out. I mean, this is somebody who's totally disqualified herself from being Commander-in-Chief based on her own actions.
You won't
What you gonna do?